What's even crazier, that this costed way less than a last-minute flight.
Aryan had a blast. My wife was comfortable the whole way. No complaints from the family. In fact, it's been all praises about the Sierra EV. And what surprised me is that I spent under 1,000 getting from Mumbai to Goa.
Well, that's it. I've covered a staggering 702.3 kilometers from Mumbai to Goa and then some on a single charge. I'm right now a little ahead of Gokarna in Karnataka, and to be honest, I did not expect that. Because the conditions were not ideal. We faced uphill climbs, ghat roads, rains, traffic holdups, and under construction roads. And given how the Sierra EV dealt with all of this was really impressive.
Ladies and gentlemen, some cars make an impact, but only a select few go on to become absolute legends. The Tata Sierra is one such legend, a name that carries a profound legacy, inspiring generations and leaving an indelible mark on Indian automotive history. Today, that legacy meets a radical new power. This isn't just an evolution, it is a complete redefinition, ready to challenge everything you thought an EV could be. Get ready for Sierra.ev, legend hypercharged. To share the bold vision, please welcome the Managing Director and CEO of Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles and Tata Passenger Electric Mobility, Mr. Shailesh Chandra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to everyone joining us today. A few months ago, we brought back one of India's most iconic automotive nameplates. The response we received was truly special. It reaffirmed something we have always believed. Some vehicles are remembered, few become icons, but only the exceptional become culture. The Sierra is one of them. Because Sierra has never been just another vehicle in India's automotive story. For over 3 decades, it has represented far more than mobility. It has represented ambition, innovation, progress, and the courage to be different. Today, we gather once again to unveil the next chapter in that story. A chapter that is not about looking back, but about how the legend is moving forward. The Sierra has never been defined by what powers it. It has been about a mindset. A mindset that challenges convention, a mindset that embraces innovation, a mindset that never stops looking ahead. When the original Sierra arrived in 1991, it introduced India to ideas that were years ahead of their time. Last year, Sierra made its return with the same spirit, reimagined for a new era. Not by following what existed, but by creating what was needed. Something meaningful, something truly relevant for a new generation. When we brought back the Sierra, we did so with a very clear belief. The mid-SUV segment had become India's most important SUV category. Customers loved its footprint, practicality, and versatility. But increasingly, they were expected to move to larger and more expensive SUVs to experience true luxury, space, and sophistication. We believed they shouldn't have to, which is why the Sierra wasn't conceived as just another mid-SUV. It was made to create a new segment altogether, the premium mid-SUV. The Sierra brought qualities traditionally reserved for premium SUVs such as space, comfort, technology, safety, craftsmanship, and aspiration into a segment that deserved it. And the market responded. Over 40,000 Sierras are already on the Indian roads today. And as demand continues to grow, we continue to ramp up production. For us, the most gratifying validation has come directly from our customers because they have validated the very idea behind the Sierra. Let's hear what they have to say.
Back when I was a kid, I first saw the original Tata Sierra OG. And that was, I think, one of the SUVs that was really, really close to my heart. All और नई सियरा में भी उन्होंने ओल्ड वाली सियरा का जो बेसिक एलिमेंट है वो देते हुए बहुत सारी जो नई एक जनरेशन को पसंद है, जेन जी को पसंद आने वाली सारी चीजें इसमें डाली है.
I used to talk a lot about Sierra, so when the Sierra is back, immediately my younger son especially reacted mentioning that okay, we'll now be buying it.
एज फॉर सियरा, इसमें मैंने 4 एस सर्च किए. सबसे पहले इसकी सेफ्टी, उसके बाद इसमें स्पेस, फिर इसकी स्टेबिलिटी और इसकी स्टाइलिंग. ये चारों चीजें मुझे इसमें बहुत अच्छी लगी.
टाटा सियारा की एक बोल्ड लुक है. अगर आप इसको साइड से देखेंगे तो एक बहुत ही आइकॉनिक गाड़ी है और ये गाड़ी जो है अपनी लेगेसी को मेंटेन करती है.
जब ये रोड पे चलती है और लोग पीछे मुड़ के देखते हैं और इसके बारे में पूछते हैं, या तो रुक के पूछते हैं और कई बार रोक के पूछते हैं.
ऐसा नहीं लग रहा था कि मैं कोई अपने 15-20 लाख की गाड़ी में बैठा, मैं ऐसा लग रहा था कि 60-70 लाख की गाड़ी तो ये होगी.
इसकी बूट स्पेस बेस्ट इन सेगमेंट हम लोग कह सकते हैं. थर्ड स्क्रीन में यूट्यूब है, गेमिंग वगैरह है.
When it comes to the software of the car or the build of the car, the ADAS features that is there, I think it is really helpful with respect to ensuring that it is a completely safe experience. It gives you that confidence that the car is really safe.
The torque converter is way above the benchmark. There is no lag at all. So whether upshifting or downshifting, it keeps happening without even having any feel on it.
To be very honest, I am loving driving this car.
अब मुझे इसके बाद कोई गाड़ी लेनी नहीं है. अगर मैं सोचूं तो भी मेरे को नहीं लगता कि मैं ले पाऊंगा.
It again hits back to the moment where you decide to go ahead with a car like Sierra and it's getting appreciated. It's a great feeling.
This is what the Sierra experience truly is. Now, as India moves towards a greener, more electric future, the Sierra will once again lead the way in its electric avatar. Over the years, what we have seen across the world is that every transformation follows a familiar arc. A disruption arrives, it challenges the status quo and changes what people value. A new solution emerges to address that need. As a result, consumer behavior is reshaped and there is a new normal. Over the past decade, we have witnessed this pattern through 3 defining moments in India: the 2016 currency demonetization, the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020, and more recently, the West Asia crisis. Demonetization accelerated digital payments, and today, India runs the world's largest real-time payment ecosystem. COVID redefined how we work, and now flexible and hybrid models are foundational to modern businesses. We believe the West Asia situation has catalyzed a similar inflection point for electric mobility. Today's customer is approaching mobility with a far more evolved and considered mindset. They want an ownership experience that feels effortless, modern, and aligned with the way they live today. And at the center of this evolving mindset is one powerful idea: certainty. Certainty of running costs, certainty of energy stability, certainty of long-term ownership. This is where electric mobility is opening up a new dimension of value for the Indian customer. It brings a fresh ownership experience, one that is smart, seamless, future-ready, and increasingly suited to how India is evolving. And that is why EV adoption is now expanding well beyond early adopters and enthusiasts. The mainstream customer has arrived, and this shift is already visible. Today, our EV bookings are over 3 times what they were a year ago. More importantly, many of these customers never imagined their next vehicle would be electric. And yet, today, they are deliberately making the switch. Here's why.
Nexon has become my best friend. जब से मैंने ये लिए तो सबसे ज्यादा टाइम मैंने पंच ईवी के साथ ही स्पेंड किया है. My Nexon EV is a transformer. Special thing about the Harry EV, it just hits the sweet spot. I will not go back to a nice. My primary will always be there. The market conditions in terms of petrol is like very bad. The problem about petrol and diesel that we are too much dependent on the other countries for these kind of fuels.
और पेट्रोल पे कितना रिलाई करेंगे? अभी रिसेंटली में एक इंसिडेंट हुआ था कि पेट्रोल वाज ऑन शॉर्टेज।
जो मिडिल ईस्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो भी चल रहा है उसकी वजह से इम्पैक्ट तो हुआ। जब मैं डीजल गाड़ी चला था तभी 90 रुपीज डीजल था, अभी ऑलमोस्ट 100 पार कर चुका है।
पेट्रोल के बारे में अगर मैं सोचूंगा तो मैं सोच रहा था कि बाइक इज कंफर्टेबल फाइनेंशियली ऑल्सो फॉर मी, बट जब मैंने ईवी के बारे में सोचा आई थॉट दैट लाइक आई हैव टू ट्रैवल एवरी नाउ एंड देन, एंड ईवी इज द वन सेगमेंट व्हाट कैन एक्चुअली मेक माई डेली ट्रैवल कंफर्टेबल भी एक बना तो देगा और फिजिबल भी बना देगा फाइनेंशियली। ये सोच के मैंने ईवी कार पे मेनली फोकस किया था।
ईवी में आपको कॉस्ट बेनिफिट और कॉस्ट कम्पिटिटिवनेस होता है। रनिंग कॉस्ट में एक्चुअली डिफरेंस मिला, हाफ से भी ज्यादा सेव हो रहा है, जो मेरा ईएमआई में या सेविंग्स में जाएगा।
The upfront extra cost that is there, it hardly takes 1 year, 1.5 years to get that back, and then the vehicle actually starts giving you back.
It is giving me very comfortable driving experience.
और ये जो ईवी कार है ये कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव है, एनवायरनमेंट फ्रेंडली है, तो मुझे इसीलिए इसको प्रेफर किया। मोर ओवर ये नॉइस फ्री है।
मेरा जो डेली वर्किंग का रनिंग होता है इट इज मोर देन 100 किलोमीटर्स अ डे। थोड़ा बहुत घर आने के बाद में थोड़ा लेफ्ट लेग पे पेन होता था। आई एम रिलीव फ्रॉम दैट पेन।
मुझे प्राउड फील होता है कि मैं एनवायरनमेंट भी सेव कर रहा हूँ और मेरा खुद का भी सेविंग हो रहा है।
I will definitely recommend Tata EV vehicle.
Until and unless you don't experience it, you will not know what you're missing out.
So what you just witnessed is perhaps the clearest signal that the shift to EVs is no longer being driven by just enthusiasts. And as electric mobility enters its next phase, the question has now changed from why EV to which EV? Which brings us to the heart of India's SUV market, the mid SUV segment. This is where the largest number of customers in India choose to enter, upgrade, and aspire. There are many EV models in this segment today, but each of them still asks the customer to make a trade-off. Some vehicles offer space, but not performance. Some bring performance, but not comfort or features. Others offer comfort, but not the confidence to go the distance. But as we looked into this segment, there was one truth that clearly came out. Today, the customer considering a mid SUV is no longer choosing it for a singular need or purpose. They are looking for a vehicle that is exceptional at everything that matters to them. Because today, customers lead a multifaceted life where they have different needs on different days. The same customer is a weekday commuter, takes their family out on weekends, and maybe an enthusiast who simply loves to go off-roading. Until now, there was not a single vehicle that could answer all these needs without asking them to give up something. But not anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Sierra EV. When we envisioned the Sierra EV, we went to the drawing board with one ambition. We wanted to build not only the best EV in this segment, but also the most desirable mid SUV in India. It began with everything that has always defined a Sierra. Its iconic design, its expansive life space, its premium craftsmanship, and its emotional pull, the kind that turns head every single time. And now we have gone one step ahead by incorporating our cutting-edge EV technology, bringing the Sierra experience into India's electric era. Because the Sierra EV does not ask customers to settle for less in exchange for going electric. It offers them more. Nearly 50% more power and torque than what is offered in this segment, the confidence of all-wheel drive capability, an intelligent technology suite that transforms everyday driving. Overall, it is the most modern and advanced expression of the Sierra spirit. It is a Sierra that goes further and stands taller than anything in its segment today, irrespective of powertrain. Let us how the Sierra EV achieves this. The first question that every customer asks before going electric is simple. Can I drive it the way I drive any SUV without thinking twice? With the Sierra EV, there is no need to plan life around the next charge. With a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack, delivering a real world range of over 500 kilometers, the Sierra EV gives customers the confidence to go further, plan bigger, and say yes to every journey. And this is not just a laboratory promise. It is a range engineered for real Indian driving conditions, backed by our proprietary C75 real world data, so customers can trust the range we claim. Once customers know they can go the distance, the next question is just as important. When I do need to charge, will it slow me down? Because on a long drive, customers don't want their plans to revolve around charging. They want charging to fit naturally into their journey. A quick stop, a coffee break, a few minutes to pause, and then they want to be back on the road. That is exactly what the Sierra EV makes possible. With Express Charge, the Sierra EV can add over 250 kilometers of range in just 15 minutes. So unplanned getaways feel easier to say yes to, and intercity travel feels more natural. In fact, yesterday, many of you would have seen the video of the Sierra EV doing this on a long intercity drive from Mumbai to Goa across real-world use cases. It showed how the combination of long range and fast charging can make electric journeys feel seamless and confident. Equally important is performance, because an SUV customer doesn't want to compromise on the thrill of the drive or the ability to go anywhere. In that respect, the Sierra has always stood for exploration, and Sierra EV continues that legacy in the most powerful way possible. Today, we are bringing quad-wheel drive to Sierra, delivering extraordinary traction, confidence, and control across terrains and conditions. Electric performance also brings a completely different kind of exhilaration, instant torque, seamless power delivery, acceleration that responds the moment you touch the pedal. This is what allows you to go from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 5.8 seconds. Combining breathtaking with all terrain driving capabilities, the Sierra EV can truly go anywhere, do anything. But after a customer experiences the performance and capability of the Sierra, the next question is about long-term trust, about how confident they will feel about this choice for years to come. Because for most families, going electric is not a short-term decision. It is a decision made with trust. Trust in the brand, trust in the technology. And at the center of that trust is the battery. So with the Sierra EV, we are answering this question with complete confidence. The Sierra EV comes with a lifetime battery warranty. And with this, the entire Tata EV portfolio now offers lifetime battery warranty. This is a statement that reflects confidence in our technology and our commitment towards an electric future. And then there is the experience. Today, cars are emerging as a new living space for individuals and families. There are many precious moments spent inside the vehicle. Long road trips, weekend getaways, and even the hours that you may spend in traffic. Sierra's defining promise has always been a luxurious, indulgent, and tech-forward experience when you are inside the cabin. The expansive glass house, the horizon view display, the comfort, the craftsmanship, the sense of openness. It is a cabin that feels generous, premium, and unmistakably Sierra. And with the Sierra EV, this experience becomes even more intelligent. Advanced park assist makes parking effortless even in the tightest urban spaces. And the summon mode move conveniently in and out of the parking spots with ease. So the experience is not only luxurious, it is intuitive, it is effortless, and it brings a new kind of ease to everyday driving. Finally, the one assurance no customer is ever willing to negotiate, that the people they love arrive home safe. And as always, this remains non-negotiable for Tata Motors. Over the years, we have changed the conversation on safety in India. But true leadership means continuing to push boundaries. Let's see how the Sierra EV is built to keep you safe in real world conditions.
6 months ago, we didn't just test a car. We changed what a crash could mean. Today, that legend returns, hypercharged for a new era. Because at Tata Motors, safety isn't tested for controlled conditions. It's tested for the realities of the road, for the moments drivers face every day, and for the ones they never see coming. Because on the road, everything can change in an instant.
Ready to launch?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sometimes the best crash is the one that never happens. But reality doesn't wait. Because sometimes someone else's mistake becomes your reality. The most dangerous crashes aren't the ones we expect. The ones no one prepares for are the ones that matter most. So we did. Not for the crash, but for what comes after it. At Tata Motors, safety begins before impact and endures long after it, preventing what can be avoided, protecting what matters when it can't. And preserving safety beyond the impact. Because safety isn't proven at impact, it's proven in everything that follows. Safety that's proven legendary.
What you saw in the video was how two layers of safety work together in the Sierra EV. First, the Sierra EV's capability to help prevent a crash, where its autonomous emergency braking steps in and stops the vehicle before impact. That is active safety doing its job. And then, even when a collision becomes unavoidable, the in-crash protection systems have been designed to absorb and manage impact forces. At Tata Motors, safety has never been treated as a feature. It has always been a responsibility. And with the Sierra EV, that responsibility extends from preventing the crash to protecting you through it. When you look at the Sierra EV in its entirety, it is a vehicle that fits every lifestyle beautifully. Equally at home in city traffic, on long distance road trips, at a family celebration, or on an adventurous weekend escape. For the first time, customers don't need to compromise on aspiration for practicality or vice versa. The Sierra EV truly does it all. And that is what makes Sierra EV far more than just a compelling EV. It is one of the most complete and desirable models in its segment, irrespective of powertrain. It is the most powerful expression of everything Sierra has always stood for: design, innovation, capability, and progress. Because shaping the future has always been core to Sierra's DNA. And today, that future is electric. So this is the Sierra EV Legend Hypercharged. I would now like to invite Anand to take us through how the Sierra EV was designed and engineered. Thank you. Thank you, Shailesh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Shailesh has just taken us through the thinking behind the Sierra EV, how customer expectations are evolving, and how those insights became the design brief for the program. My role over the next few minutes is to take you behind the scenes, to show you how our engineering teams translated that vision into the product that you see today, or will see today. Every specification, every technology, every engineering decision had to answer one simple question: does it create a better experience for our customer? That philosophy has guided us through each stage of the Sierra EV's development. So let me begin. You see, when a name like the Sierra returns, it carries with it enormous expectations. It isn't simply about reviving an icon, but it's about honoring everything that people loved about it, while engineering it for a completely new generation. The Sierra EV is therefore much more than an electric SUV. It's the coming together of three powerful ideas: a vehicle that expands your life's possibilities, a vehicle that delivers exhilarating performance and capability, and a vehicle that is engineered without compromise. In many ways, it is the Sierra, hypercharged. At its heart, the Sierra has always been about exploration, not just of places, but of possibilities. We imagined our customer to be someone who refuses to be defined by a single lifestyle, someone who's adventurous enough to explore more, expressive enough to stand apart, and curious enough to keep discovering something new. Those three qualities became our compass throughout the program, because when a vehicle is designed around possibility, it naturally becomes capable of much more. That philosophy led us to a very clear engineering objective: to excel simultaneously across every dimension that truly matters to an SUV customer. Not performance instead of comfort, capability instead of efficiency, safety instead of space, but excellence across all of them, all at the same time. Because we believed our customers shouldn't have to choose between one strength and another. They should simply have one SUV, one possibility. Achieving that meant engineering the Sierra EV for the realities of India. Not just our roads, but our climate, our traffic, our terrain, and the incredible diversity of conditions that this country presents. From sub-zero to peak temperatures, to high altitude mountain passes, to coastal humidity, to monsoon flooding, and endless hours in urban traffic. These aren't isolated test conditions. They are everyday realities for Indian customers. And that's exactly where the Sierra EV has been engineered to perform. I dare say built in India, engineered for India, and validated for India. Ready for wherever India takes you. Everything you've seen so far is made possible by the strength of our Acti EV architecture. Rather than introducing new technologies in isolation, we've fully leveraged every layer of this architecture, from the chassis to the powertrain to the electrical and electronic systems, and finally the cloud. Together, they form the technological foundation on which the Sierra EV has been built. Let's begin with the first of those layers, which is the electric powertrain. Now, performance has always been central to the Sierra character. The Sierra EV continues that legacy with an electric powertrain engineered not merely to deliver numbers, but to inspire confidence on each drive and in every condition. Let's take a closer look. The Sierra EV is powered by two highly sophisticated electric drive units. A 175 kilowatt rear wheel drive motor delivering up to 340 Newton meters of torque with peak efficiencies of around 96.5%. Complementing that is a 103 kilowatt front wheel drive induction motor, adding another dimension of capability whenever required. Working together, these systems create an intelligent all-wheel drive configuration that combines outstanding performance with exceptional traction and control. But ultimately, all of that engineering has one purpose: to deliver an experience that feels effortless every time you press the accelerator. That philosophy is immediately evident in the way the Sierra EV accelerates. It's not simply about the final 0 to 100 number. It's about what happens from the moment that you touch the accelerator. The Sierra EV builds acceleration earlier, sustains stronger longitudinal G forces, and delivers sharper pedal response throughout the speed range. The result is a 0 to 100 in just 5.8 seconds, making the Sierra EV the quickest Indian electric vehicle to date. Performance alone doesn't define an SUV. Capability does. Whether it's climbing steep gradients, maintaining momentum over demanding terrain, or delivering confident traction in difficult conditions, the Sierra EV has been engineered to perform with complete assurance. Its powerful dual motor architecture delivers the torque required to tackle challenging landscapes with confidence. And with the dedicated terrain drive modes optimizing the vehicle behavior for different surfaces, the Sierra EV is always prepared to take on whatever lies ahead. Now, let's see that capability in action. You've seen the engineering. Let's watch it come alive.
Welcome to the largest sand desert in the world, where wind is the sculptor and the heat is the law. Far away in the city of gold, an unlikely challenger is heading towards the ultimate off-road challenge. This is it. The dune they call unforgiving for a reason.
بتكلم بخص يعني اللي هو عن ملعب، هو يعتبر من أكبر تل عندنا في الإمارات. كيف تخلي السيارة تطلع من البداية للنهاية تمشي سيدة ما تنحرف، هو تحدي كبير صراحة.
People spend weeks and months tuning and modifying engines, suspensions, gearboxes, lots of preparation for this moment. One mistake, 1 second of losing momentum. and the tune will decide the rest.
Out here, even modified V8s stop sounding invincible.
اولا هم جايين يجربون السياره في الصيف، عندك انت تتميز ليوا برمالها اللي هي الناعمه والمتحركه.
At the end, only the strongest, the smartest, and the most capable will do it all the way to the top.
500 Newton meters, that's a lot of torque. But high torque numbers are not enough to worry. You need great power to weight ratio, an optimal wheelbase, and a highly intelligent all-wheel drive system.
All clear and good to go, Ben. Good luck and Godspeed.
No stock production EV has ever done this before, but that's exactly why we're here.
Caution, Ben, you lose momentum here and you are going to sink into the sand. This is the trickiest stage. 50-degree incline. The sand can collapse anytime. Don't stop.
The tune has chosen its legend. Sierra.ev. Legend hypercharged.
The performance that you've just seen is only possible because of what lies underneath the battery. 8 years ago, as we began our electrification journey, we had to make a fundamental choice on battery chemistry. For the needs of the India market, we chose LFP because we believed it offered the right balance of safety, durability, and long-term value for our customers. Over the years, that decision has been validated through more than 300,000 Tata EVs now and over 15 billion kilometers of real-world driving. With the Sierra EV, we've taken the next step. By adopting a cell-to-pack architecture, we've significantly improved packaging efficiency and achieved a class-leading energy density of 141 watt-hours per kilogram. The comparison on this slide illustrates the outcome. Despite its footprint, the Sierra EV delivers one of the most efficient battery packages in its class. Technology evolves continuously, and different applications may call for different solutions in the future. But for the Sierra EV, this chemistry provides the balance that we wanted: performance, safety, longevity, and efficiency all working together. Ultimately, all of that engineering must answer one question: how far can I go? The Sierra EV delivers an MIDC certified range of 665 kilometers with the 75 kilowatt hour battery and a 565 kilometers with a 63 kilowatt hour battery. But as many of you know, Tata Motors has always believed in speaking not just about regulatory numbers, but about real world data, real world driving. That's why we continue to publish our C75 estimates. In everyday conditions, customers can expect approximately 510 to 530 kilometers from the 75 kilowatt hour battery and between 440 and 460 kilometers from the 63 kilowatt hour battery. Now, these figures place the Sierra EV amongst the top quartile of real world range that electric vehicles available across the globe can do. Because confidence doesn't come only from laboratory numbers. It comes from the distance that you can genuinely achieve each day. The second question every EV owner asks is, how quickly can I get back on the road? With the Sierra EV, we've worked across the entire charging ecosystem to make that experience faster and simpler. Using a 120 kilowatt DC fast charger, the battery can charge from 20 to 80% in just 26 minutes. Peak charging rates of 1.6C enable customers to add up to 263 kilometers of MIDC range in only 15 minutes. Now, whether you are charging through DC fast charging or a 7.2 kilowatt home charger or a 3.3 kilowatt charging solution, the Sierra EV is designed to integrate effortlessly into different ownership patterns. Even small details have been thoughtfully engineered. The illuminated charging ring communicates charging status intuitively. White while initiating, blue while charging, green when fully charged, and red if attention is required. Simple visual cues that make everyday ownership just that little bit easier. Electrification also unlocks possibilities that simply weren't available before. With bidirectional energy transfer, the Sierra EV becomes much more than a vehicle. It becomes a source of power. Vehicle to load supports external loads up to 3.3 kilowatts, enough to comfortably power an outdoor campsite, a mobile workspace, or an entertainment setup, all simultaneously. Vehicle to vehicle charging allows energy transfer of up to 5 kilowatt, enabling one EV to power and assist another whenever required. It transforms the vehicle from something that simply consumes energy to something which is capable of sharing it, opening entirely new possibilities of how customers can use their SUVs. We've spoken about possibilities throughout this presentation. Here's one example of what that possibility could look like. We've just explored the capabilities enabled by the electric powertrain. Now let's move on to another equally important layer of the Acti EV architecture, the chassis. Because this is where engineering shapes two experiences that every customer notices immediately: safety and comfort. Let's begin with the safety. Earlier, Shailesh showed you a real-world crash scenario. I would like to revisit that event, but this time through the eyes of the vehicle. The Sierra EV continuously observes its surroundings. When it detects the stationary truck ahead, it recognizes that collision is imminent, there's a collision risk, and in a blink of an eye, applies autonomous emergency braking to bring the vehicle safely to a stop. But real life is rarely that simple. A truck approaching from behind collides with the Sierra EV, pushing it forward towards the stationary vehicle. Now, as the gap closes once again, the vehicle immediately recognizes that changing situation and reapplies braking to minimize the secondary impact. At the very same moment, occupant protection systems detect the dynamics of the collision. Airbags deploy precisely when required to in order to protect the head and chest of the occupants. This is modern vehicle safety, not simply stronger structures, but intelligent systems continuously sensing, analyzing, and responding to safeguard people. Even after the collision, the vehicle continues working. Emergency SOS services are activated. The doors remain capable of unlocking to aid rescue, and critically, the battery remains protected. Because safety doesn't end with avoiding an accident, it extends to everything that happens afterwards. Safety gives customers confidence and space gives them freedom. The Sierra EV has been engineered to maximize usable cabin space in every direction. Greater couple distance, more shoulder room, generous headroom. Now, these aren't isolated dimensions. Together, they define how spacious a vehicle actually feels. Now, the result is an interior that comfortably outperforms key competitors across all three axes, creating an environment where every journey feels more relaxed for each occupant. Now, space, of course, isn't just about people. It's equally about everything that life asks us to carry. Now, while the Sierra EV offers a 622-liter boot along with an additional 55-liter frunk, which are impressive numbers, but sometimes seeing is far more convincing than measuring. Please watch. That's a lot of space, yeah? As you've seen, thank you. As you've seen, good engineering is often measured not only in numbers, but in the experiences that it enables. And with that, let's move to another area where engineering has an equally profound influence on every journey, ride comfort. Every vehicle can be fitted with advanced suspension technology. The real engineering lies not in what you use, but in how you use it. With the Sierra EV, we continue to build on the ultra-glide suspension philosophy, which we introduced with the Harrier EV. At its heart is the frequency selective damping, carefully calibrated to work with the vehicle's architecture, weight distribution, and intended character. The outcome is visible in the data. Reduced vibration exposure over time translates into lower driver fatigue on long journeys. The superior ride isolation across a wide range of road frequencies ensures that. Because comfort isn't created by adding technology. It is created by understanding how to tune it. When we think about cabin air quality, we often think only about particulate matter. But true air quality is broader than that. It includes airborne particles, volatile organic compounds, and pathogens. The Sierra EV therefore approaches cabin wellness holistically. Our PM 2.5 filtration system significantly improves air quality, while the integrated ionizer helps reduce airborne contaminants and contributes to a fresher cabin environment. It's one more example of looking beyond the specification to improve the everyday experience inside of the vehicle. So far, we have explored the physical engineering. Now let me move into the digital architecture. The Sierra EV builds further on our Tidal software-defined vehicle platform by strengthening both the onboard software stack as well as the cloud architecture. With greater in-house software capability comes faster development, tighter integration, and the ability to continuously enhance the ownership experience over time. Ultimately, the customer benefits will be through richer personalization, better privacy, and progressive software updates. But perhaps more importantly, the vehicle becomes capable of evolving long after it has left the factory. One of the most visible outcomes of this architecture is the cockpit itself. Rather than thinking of the cabin as a single digital space, we have reimagined it around the people inside it. The driver and co-driver each have their own independent digital zones, allowing personalized connectivity and experiences without interfering with each other. At the same time, we've also created what we call the Together Zone, a shared digital space where all occupants can enjoy experiences together, whether they are watching a movie, playing some games, multiplayer games, using their phones as controller, or discovering new possibilities that software will continue to unlock over a period of time. Technology should adapt to people, not ask people to adapt to technology. At Tata Motors, we've always believed that sound quality is an integral part of the driving experience. The Sierra takes it further. Working with JBL Black and Dolby Atmos, we have engineered an immersive audio experience that faithfully reproduces the richness and spatial depth intended by the artist. We're also proud to be the first in India to enable Dolby Atmos through Apple CarPlay. Complementing this is the integrated front soundbar, which not only enhances in-cabin fidelity while driving, but also introduces a dedicated soundbar mode, opening up yet another way for customers to enjoy music when the journey pauses. As we enter the era of software-defined vehicles, it is tempting to equate progress with more screens, more features, more information. But if we pause and look at this from the driver's seat, an important question emerges. Does more capability automatically create a better experience? A car is not a smartphone on wheels. It operates at speed, in traffic, in unpredictable real-world conditions, often with families on board. In that environment, the quality of interaction matters far more than the quantity of information. Modern software can generate dozens of data points every second, but the human mind can neither nor should process all of them while driving. So our philosophy for the Sierra EV was very clear. Don't show everything that the system knows. Show only what the driver needs when they need it. Every prompt, every notification, every visual cue was questioned. Does this help the driver or does it distract? The result is hypervision. Vital information projected naturally into the driver's line of sight, reducing distraction, reducing cognitive load, and allowing the driver to remain focused where it matters most on the road ahead. Many of you have seen already through the video our ADAS capabilities in action today. This is a mature and thoroughly validated system, one that has already proven itself in real-world conditions. Rather than revisit each feature, I would simply say this: ADAS is at its best when you hardly notice it, always aware, always ready, quietly working in the background to make every journey safer. That brings us to an important idea. How should and what should intelligent technology actually feel like? We feel and we believe that it should feel like a trusted companion, one that understands its surroundings, one that knows when to assist, and equally importantly, knows when not to. The Sierra EV deliberately avoids overwhelming the driver with unnecessary warnings and notifications. Instead, it trusts that you will make the right decisions. Only when it senses that a situation is becoming genuinely unsafe does it intervene. This is the difference between information and judgment. Ultimately, intelligence isn't about saying more. It's about saying the right thing at the right time. As we conclude the technical story of the Sierra EV, I would like to touch upon one final aspect of engineering that is becoming increasingly important to all of us: sustainability. When we launched the Tiago.ev, we made a commitment that sustainability would not be a story that we told once. It would become something that we demonstrated through every new product that we create. The Sierra EV continues that commitment. Across the vehicle, we've consciously expanded the use of recycled plastics into more components and trim parts, reducing our dependence on virgin materials without compromising on quality, durability, or appearance. The Sierra EV that you will experience is built on sustainable choices, consciously taken to engineer a better and greener tomorrow. Each component on its own may feel very small, but together they represent hundreds of thoughtful engineering decisions that reduce material consumption and move us towards a more sustainable future. Progress towards a more sustainable future won't come from one big idea. It will come from thousands of better choices. This one is ours. Before I close, I would like to acknowledge a group of people whose contribution often remains behind the scenes, but whose engineering is visible in every kilometer that this vehicle will travel. Our supplier partners. Every innovation we have spoken today, every technology we have demonstrated, every validation that has been completed has been the result of countless hours of collaboration between Tata Motors and our supplier partners. They have challenged ideas, they've solved difficult engineering problems, and they've adapted to our demanding requirements. And they've worked alongside our teams with one common purpose: building a better product for our customers. Engineering has never been the work of one company. It's always the outcome of many organizations working together with a shared purpose. To celebrate that partnership, we have created a specially exploded view display of the Sierra EV outside of this auditorium. I would encourage each one of you to spend some time there today. If today's presentation showed you what the Sierra can do, that display will reveal how it all comes together. To our partners, thank you for helping us bring another icon to life. Over the last few minutes, I've spoken about architecture, powertrain, safety, software, and the countless engineering decisions that have shaped the Sierra EV. But ultimately, we don't build technology for its own sake. We build it to give people the confidence to explore, to discover, to experience, to create memories with the people who matter most. Because in the end, the greatest journeys are never measured in kilometers. They're measured in moments. And I would like to close by saying the world was always beautiful. You just needed to look up. Thank you so much. I would now like to call upon my colleague Vivek to take us through features that the Sierra EV has, as well as the experiences that we have enabled for you.
Thank you, Anand, and good evening to all my friends. We've seen over the last 1 hour how the Sierra was designed and engineered to be exceptional. But let's take a step back. For more than a decade now, SUVs have been growing in preference and has become the default typology of choice for Indian consumers. This preference of SUVs is shaped by the rapidly changing lifestyle in India. The SUV, actually, from a vehicle, it's become a stable member of every family, unleashing freedom and inspiring a richer time together. Families escaping the city on a long drive, professionals taking an important call on the go, parents waiting during football practice of their children, children asleep in the second row after a long drive, or just a family enjoying the rain through the sunroof. Today we see such instances all around us, which was not the case a few years back. However, as we saw earlier, changing times and uncertainties have dramatically enhanced India's move towards electric vehicles. Increasingly, customers want that one electric vehicle that is able to deliver this together experiences exceptionally well. The Sierra.EV is that one vehicle that will enable to deliver a rich upper segment experience along with the features, benefits, and attributes of a technologically advanced EV. To build the Sierra.EV, we started by deeply understanding how today's Indian consumers live, travel, and use their vehicles, shaped by their evolving lifestyles and a rapidly expanding highway network. We broke down various use cases of the Indian customer into 4 broad clusters. First, long journeys with family. Secondly, the daily office commute and city drives. Third, adventures beyond the highway. And lastly, moments when you rather sit back and be chauffeured and enjoy the drive. Each of these cases required a completely different set of features and attributes from a vehicle. And the Sierra.EV has been engineered to and curated to excel in every one of them. Ask any SUV owner or buyer what they truly look forward to, what do they dream of when they buy the car, and they will tell you road trips. And every great road trip begins with confidence. Before you even left home, the Sierra.EV's intelligent EV route planner for Android Auto plans the journey for you. Google Map displays the predicted battery level at your destination, seamlessly adding and optimizing charging stops when needed for an efficient and smooth journey. To deliver these predictions, Maps combines advanced energy models with vehicle details like weight and battery capacity, overlaying Google's real-time traffic and road elevation and weather data. Tata is India's first automaker to bring this advanced maps feature to drivers in Android Auto. So for the customers, the conversation changes from when will we make it to where should we go next. Once the journey starts, the Sierra.EV transforms the cabin into a space where family genuinely enjoy spending time together. The Horizon View triple screen transforms the dashboard into a digital lounge, and the Theatre Pro experience powered by the Sonic Shaft soundbar and the immersive Dolby Atmos audio transforms every journey into a private cinema. In fact, for the very first time in India, customers can now experience Dolby Atmos directly from their phone through Apple CarPlay. But there is another reality of modern road trips, and all of us have experienced that. More often than not, when we go on road trips, after a while, every member is immersed into their own screen, in their own little worlds, and that is not what we want. They are physically together, but mentally somewhere else. We introduce Air Console. It's a multiplayer gaming in the Sierra EV, where every passenger's smartphone becomes a gaming controller. Basically, it means that during the drive, all the passengers can come together and play games on the screen in the Sierra.EV. And when the Sierra.EV is stationary, whether you stop to recharge or simply to take a break, the driver can join in, making a shared experience for the whole family. Speaking of charging, with the express charge capability we have already seen, Sierra.EV adds over 250 kilometers of real-world range in just 15 minutes. For the consumer, what it means is that by the time you've stretched your legs, grabbed a coffee, and everybody's ready to get back onto the road, the Sierra.EV is more than ready for the drive ahead. Next is when you're on a family trip, practicality matters. We've already seen the generous 622-liter boot absolutely swallows everything that a family holiday demands. And when both your hands are full, the gesture control powered tailgate opens effortlessly, making loading and unloading completely hassle-free. But above all, what matters most is the safety of people traveling with you. That's why the Sierra.EV comes with ADAS Level 2 Plus, ESP, and a strong safety structure engineered to protect your family on every journey. But while road trips create memories, most SUVs actually spend far more time in cities. The daily commute, meetings, groceries, crowded streets, and tight parking is today's reality. Because in a city, it is often the little interactions with your car that shape the ownership experience. And the experience begins before you even get in. You walk up to the Sierra.EV and the NFC card becomes your key through Digi Access. No more searching for keys, you just walk up and get in. You settle into the cool ventilated seats while your phone charges effortlessly, wirelessly. The air purifier with an ionizer quietly keeps the cabin fresh, while the high-power HUD places information that you need directly into your line of sight. Then comes one of my favorite features. Anand spoke about it. We've all squeezed into tight basement slots, wondering how we'll get out afterwards. With the e-valet, Sierra.EV can park itself and be summoned out itself when you're boxed in. That's not only the everyday hassle we have set out to eliminate. We've all been in a situation where we are pulling over to complete a payment, whether it is in a toll or to buy some, maybe a coffee. We open multiple apps, search for QR codes, lose control of the wheel. Drive Pay removes all that friction. It lets you pay for charging, recharge your FASTag, or even order your coffee, all through simple voice commands without stepping out of the car. That is real convenience. We also know that some Sierra owners won't stop where the highway ends. They'll keep going further into terrains where confidence matters more than specifications. That's why the Sierra.EV comes with quad wheel drive, enabling 540 Nm of instant torque. But not only that, it's got 6 terrain modes, off-road assist, and a thrilling boost mode. Clear view assist lets you see all around the vehicle and even beneath the vehicle, the 540-degree view that we have, giving you confidence exactly when you need it the most, making adventure feel exciting but not uncertain. But sometimes the best seat in the Sierra.EV isn't behind the wheel. Sometimes you simply rather sit back and relax and be chauffeured. And that's where the Sierra transforms once again. The flat rear floor creates genuine lounge-like space. Boss mode gives rear passengers enough room to truly stretch out. Ultra glide suspension with FDD smooths away the broken roads. Relax mode transforms the cabin into a sanctuary of light, sound, and ambience. After a long day at work, simply switch on the relax mode and let the soothing music and calming visuals and ambient lighting help you unwind on the way to your home. Designed utility spaces all around the Sierra that keep your everyday essentials within easy reach. From bottles and gadgets to travel accessories, everything has its place. So, if we step back and look at the kind of experiences and tech the Sierra.EV comes with, it delivers more value than even cars probably 60 lakh and above. Sierra.EV truly embodies the philosophy of making premium experiences accessible to far more people. And perhaps the best example of this philosophy can be seen on how we built the personas. Now I'll show behind me on the screen a list of many features that the Sierra comes with. 12-inch infotainment, 10-inch instrument cluster, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, ultra glide suspension with FDD, R18 alloy wheels, EPB with auto hold, rear sun blinds, and disc brakes. That's a long list of features. You might be wondering why I'm saying all this. All this is absolutely standard on the Sierra right from the base, Sierra.EV from the base variant. Every Sierra.EV delivers the core promise, the space, the technology, the safety, the craftsmanship, and the experience. And once you've chosen the Sierra.EV, the final expression of your personality comes down to one thing, the colors. With the Sierra.EV, we are introducing a new shade, the Rishikesh Rapids, inspired by the green tinted rapids of the Ganges. And for customers choosing our quad wheel drive variants, there's the exclusive Nainital Nocturne, a deep, sophisticated shade that reflects the quiet confidence and commanding presence of our most capable Sierra.EV. Now, as we come to the end, before I leave the stage, there's one more thing. Electric vehicles are built for a cleaner future. And perhaps nowhere is that more meaningful than in the many national parks across India. India is home to more than 100 national parks, welcoming millions of visitors every year to experience some of the world's richest wildlife and natural habitats. Yet, across many of these parks, jungle expedition vehicles have remained largely unchanged for decades. Many still rely on aging vehicles that are noisy, produce tailpipe emissions, are underpowered, and simply aren't built for a modern experience. Over the past few years, we have heard one request repeatedly from forest officials, departments, wildlife authorities, and jungle resorts across the country. Can Tata Motors build a jungle expedition EV? Being the leaders in EV, can we do that? Today we have it. Built on our advanced active.ev architecture with quad wheel drive and instant electric torque, the Sierra.ev is the ideal foundation for a next generation jungle expedition vehicle. Its near silent zero emission electric drive lets visitors experience the forest as nature intended, while delivering the capability and instant response needed to confidently tackle demanding terrain. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce a very special expression of the Sierra.ev, the Tata Sierra.ev Sanctuary. And for everybody here, the Sierra.ev Sanctuary is on display in our walkaround zone. You can look at it later. Now, let's have the complete look at the package that is Sierra.ev. I want to just tell everybody, especially our media friends, that kindly remain in your seats. We have a little bit of a show coming up and you will experience it best in your seats and don't come forward. So let's get the Sierra.ev onto the roads. Thank you.
request the leadership team to please join us on stage for a group photograph. Thank you, everyone. I request all media personnel to kindly take your seats. Mr. Chandra, may I kindly request you to remain with us as we now move into one of the most anticipated moments of today's launch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sierra EV truly redefines what an SUV can be. You have seen how it combines authentic SUV capability, exhilarating performance, live space on the go, real-world freedom, advanced technology, and legendary safety. It stays true to the Sierra legacy while setting a new benchmark for the future. Which is why we believe that the Sierra EV is not only a great electric SUV, it is the most desirable SUV in this segment. And now comes the final question that many of you have been waiting for, the price. I am delighted to announce that the Sierra EV range will start at the price of a price that brings India's most desirable SUV within reach of a whole new generation of customers. And now, let's take a look at the complete Sierra EV pricing range. I would like to outline that the empowered A persona will also be offered with the QWD powertrain. The Sierra EV truly brings back a legendary nameplate in its most modern and advanced avatar. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Sierra EV, the SUV that India has been waiting for. Bookings open today and deliveries will start from 15 July. Thank you.
Now, as we conclude today's live showcase, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to the media, our partners, our global audiences watching online, and the entire Tata.ev family for witnessing history tonight. Before we close, we have a few important announcements.
तो हे गाइस, मैं हूं टेक डिफाइनर और आप देख रहे हो टेक टॉक्स इंडिया। तो गाइस, आज के इस वाली वीडियो में आपको बताऊंगा कि आप कैसे अपने आईफोन से डायरेक्ट लाइव स्ट्रीम कर सकते हो यूट्यूब के ऊपर, एंड वो भी आप अपनी मनचाही रेजोल्यूशन में कर सकते हो बिना किसी एल्गाटो या फिर किसी की हेल्प से। डायरेक्ट जो लाइव स्ट्रीम होगा यूट्यूब पर वो आपके आईफोन से ही होने वाला है। एंड इस वाली वीडियो में गाइस मैं आपको सारी चीजें स्टेप बाय स्टेप बताने वाला हूँ, फुल